the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. And we have the Week 11 Weekday preview. If you missed my Tuesday night previews, they were on the end of the Week 10 recap. So make sure you listen to that. I mean, the game's over, but make sure you listen to that anyway. I know we don't do poll talk normally because I normally do it on the recaps, but the College Football Playoff Committee dropped their first rankings last night after my show, so I will talk about those because that's the rankings we need to follow. But before we do that, I'd like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Helps the channel, helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. I'm going to go over the shows that the network has to offer. Now, I thought that the main show was going live last night at 7. If you were on the show, I was telling y'all to go check them out after. They're going live tonight. So they normally go live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But this week is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they are live tonight, 7 o'clock. Unfazed is another show that we have to offer. By the way, the main show is featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Unfazed is featuring Joe and AJ. They also did not go live yesterday. They are going live tonight at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central. But they normally go live Tuesday, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central. Check them out tonight. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. All your baseball content through there. We have FFC, who's going live sometime after me. Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. He's going to go over probably the past week in football with fantasy. And he's probably going to give you some starting sits. Thursday night football tomorrow. My Bengals in Baltimore. That's tomorrow. So week 10 starts basically now. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. I believe he's going live tonight. I'm not sure actually, but I think he is. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn. NBA content. His Magic is back in action tonight against the Pacers. My Pistons are back in action tonight against the Hornets. So make sure you check out RBO, Real Ballers Only. In the red corner, featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, boxing show. So make sure you check that out for all your boxing needs. We have Kings Talk with Joe Jordan, the Sacramento Kings. I think they're back in action. Yes, they are. They're back in action playing the Raptors. But he goes live after every game, gives you recaps, things like that. He updates you on Sacramento Kings news. So check out Kings Talk with Joe Jordan. And I believe that's all the shows that the network have to offer. I'm pretty sure that's all of them. But if you like what you listen to, like, comment, share, subscribe, and stick with them as well. But without further ado, let's get into these polls. So we got to talk College Football Playoff Committee rankings. Now, the committee must have heard me yesterday because at number 2 is actually Ohio State. Ohio State moves into 2. Oregon, of course, is number 1 in the country. One of the few undefeated teams left. 2 is Ohio State. 3 is Georgia, which I'm fine with. I would have preferred Miami 3, but I'm fine with Georgia being 3. Miami 4, Texas 5, Penn State 6, Tennessee 7, Indiana jumps up to 8, which I'm fine with. BYU 9, Notre Dame 10. Y'all know how I feel about Notre Dame, man. Don't think this is a playoff team. They have a weak schedule, but they are 10. Alabama's 11. Boise State is 12, and first team out is SMU. Now, the reason why they're first team out is because The Power Five, not Power Five, Group of Five champ looks to be Boise State, and they look to be the best Group of Five champ. So that's one spot. You have 11 left. Oregon, let's just, if the season were to end today, Oregon will be the Big Ten champ. Georgia will be the SEC champ. BYU will be the Big 12 champ. And I would say the U will be the ACC champ. If the season were to end today, the U will be the ACC champ. So that's 4 spots, leaving 7 left. Ohio State will obviously be the 5th seed. The 6th seed will be Texas. The 7th seed will be Penn State. The 8th seed will be Tennessee. The 9th seed will be Indiana. The 10th seed will be Notre Dame. The 11th seed will be Alabama. And then the 12th seed, like we already discussed, will be Boise State. So first team out is SMU. Second team out is Texas A&M at 14. So they're on the outside looking in. They need some help. SMU can help themselves. SMU can help themselves if they make the ACC championship and win the ACC. Then they obviously will be a top 4 seed. 15 is LSU, which they play Alabama Saturday. So they can help themselves there. Ole Miss is at 16. They play Georgia Saturday. They can help themselves there. Iowa State 17, but they play Kansas, so that's really not going to help them. Pitt is at 18. They play UVA. It's not going to help them. Kansas State is at 19. I believe they're on a bye, if I'm not mistaken. Colorado's 20, and they can help themselves with a win over Texas Tech because that puts them in play for the Big 12 championship. 21 is Washington State. They're not in a conference. They can't really help themselves. I think they're like eliminated from playoff contention. They would need a collapse to make the playoffs. 22 is Louisville. They can help themselves. They got to win out. They got to win out, though, to have a chance. Need some help as well. Clemson, 23, same thing. They got to win out, and they need some help. 24 is Mizzou. They have to win out and need help. And 25 is Army, which I don't think Army's going to make it. Army would make it if they win the American and Boise State collapses and doesn't win the Mountain West. That's the only way Army gets in. But do I agree with the polls? I do like this. I wish Mizzou was out, to be completely honest. I don't think Mizzou should be ranked. I wish they were out. I would have been cool with Vandy. I'd have been cool with South Carolina. I would have been cool with Tulane. I wish Mizzou was out, but that's really my only gripe with the college football committee. Y'all know I don't want Notre Dame to talk to him, but I can't really gripe about that. But I do like the college football committee's first college football playoff ranking that they put out. I think it's fairly accurate. I'm not mad at it at all. Like I said, the only gripe I have is Mizzou at 24. But other than that, that's the college football playoff poll talk. Let's get into these previews. Now, y'all know 5 keys for each team to win the game, and I picked my winner. And we got, starting tonight, Ohio comes into this game as 19.5-point road favorites at Kent State. Kent State is winless on the year. You can catch this game on 7 o'clock on ESPNU. Like I said, man, Kent State is coming to this game winless on the year. Ohio looking like to be one of the MAC favorites. I believe, let me make sure I got this correct, but I want to say Ohio only has like 1 loss in conference play for the MAC. Let's see, standings, excuse me. Yeah, they had 1 loss there, 3-1. Western Michigan is sitting atop the MAC rankings at 4-0. NIU, Northern Illinois, is 1-3. Oof, because we have them tonight. Bowling Green, with the win last night, is now 4-1. Miami of Ohio, my winner of the MAC preseason, is now 4-1 in conference play. So Miami needs some help. They do play Miami finishes with Kent State, Northern Illinois, and they help themselves with Bowling Green. So they can help themselves take over there. Western Michigan plays Northern Illinois, Bowling Green. So there's some help for my Miami, Ohio Redhawks. Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. And Bowling Green finishes the season with Western, Ball State, and Miami of Ohio. So Miami of Ohio has to win out to have a chance to play for the MAC championship and defend their title. But let's get into this actual game. So Parker Navarro has to protect the football. Obviously, the quarterback, you got to protect the football. You can't give a team that is trying to fight for their only win, for their first win of the season. Can't give them opportunity. Sack the quarterback, which Kent State gives up the most sacks, which should be Tommy Olakowski. Tommy should be the starter for Kent State. Ricky Hunt Jr. has to step up at running back because Anthony Tyus is out from what I've seen on the injury reports. Feed Coleman Owen, your wide receiver, and score. Not only because I don't think Kent State can keep up with a team that can score, but you have a really good defense at the University of Ohio, and it allows them to sink their teeth and go hunt the quarterback. Kent State, protect Tommy Olatowski. Obviously, you got to protect them, but I think they're like either last. I think they're last. They're protecting the quarterback. Yeah, they give them no sacks, so you got to protect them. Force turnovers. You got to force turnovers because you got to give your offense short fields against this defense. Even if you give them a short field, though, I think it's 3 points. But still, you got to force some turnovers to give your offense extra possessions. You got to convert on third downs. They are also last in the MAC in third down conversions. Get off the field on third downs because they are second to last in the MAC on third down percentage on defense. And you got to convert in the red zone because they are last in the MAC at that with 15 attempts. In the red zone, 8 touchdowns. So they have some bad statistics, as you would assume, at them being winless. And obviously, I don't think they win tonight. I'm going with Ohio to win. Really good defense, poor offense, poor protection of the quarterback. Ohio, I think, blows out Kent State in this one on the road and wins fairly easily. We'll move on to Northern Illinois at Western Michigan. Western Michigan, the home team. Western Michigan is the leader in the MAC. Northern Illinois, they had the high of beating Notre Dame week 2, I believe. Ever since then, came crumbling down 4-4 in a year, 1-3, like I said, in the MAC. Western Michigan undefeated in the MAC, 5-3 on the year. A win tonight will make them bowl eligible. A win tonight will be huge going forward in their chance to play for the MAC championship. But let's get into it. NIU has to defend the run because Western Michigan is the top running team in the MAC. While they're going against NIU has the top run defense in the MAC. And like I said, Western Michigan is the top running team in the MAC. The forced third and longs because their first NIU is first and third down percentage on defense. Ethan Hampton has to protect the ball. Pressure Hayden Wolf because they are second in sacks in the MAC. And run Antonio Brown. You got to run Antonio Brown. He's a huge factor for these NIU team. Western Michigan, stick with Jaden Nixon. Now I say that because they're going against the number 1 rush defense. It might not click immediately. You might have some short runs. You might not be breaking them. You got to stick with them. Has to bow up in the red zone. They are 28-31 in the red zone, allowing 21 touchdowns. So just got to bow up there. Have to get off the field. NIU is first in the MAC in time of possession. So you got to get off the field there. Stop Antonio Brown and hit momentum splash plays when available to get the crowd involved. Now, I got Western Michigan taking this as a 1.5-point dog. I have that because they're a pretty good team. They can run the ball. They're not that bad at passing. Northern Illinois is kind of reeling, and you're going against one of the better teams in the MAC on the road. I think the home crowd is going to be happy. This is probably one of the better Western Michigan teams I didn't see in a while. And I always think back to that game and how they were competitive against Wisconsin. Now, you can say, Carl, again, they beat a ranked Notre Dame team, NIU. I can say they haven't looked the same since. They fell off a little bit. So I'm going to take Western Michigan as a home upset this tonight against Northern Illinois. We move on to Thursday night. We have 2 games for Thursday night football, Sun Belt action. I'm mad they're starting it at 8 o'clock because, like I said, my Ravens play at 8:15. I will watch, but it will be on my phone. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It's going to be on my phone. The Ravens will be on my TV. And we start off with App State at Coastal Carolina, a classic rivalry in the Sun Belt. Now, normally both teams will be competing for a chance to play for the Sun Belt title. This year, it's not looking so well for both teams. But this game, you can catch it 8 o'clock on ESPN. Coastal Carolina is coming to this game as 1.5-point home favorites. Now, App State, you got to put Coastal Carolina offense behind schedule, behind the chains. That's always my key when going against Coastal. Pressure Ethan Vasco. Maybe he throw a pick. Maybe he throws a pick, throws a bad pass. You just got to put pressure on him. Get the ball to Caden Robinson, your guy on the outside. Joey Aguilar has to protect the football. I believe he has 10 picks on the year, 10, 11 picks on the year. And you got to watch Jamison Tucker deep. He is a deep threat. He will get behind the defense, and he will make you pay. Now, if you're Coastal Carolina, you got to stay ahead of the chains. Like I said, man, you got to stay ahead of the chains, especially when that run-heavy offense. Feed Braden Bennett, the running back. You got to force some turnovers because you're a run-heavy team. Give you some extra possessions, and you're going to kill the clock with extra possessions and possibly score. And you got to pressure Joey Aguilar and score 6, not 3. It's easy sometimes, in my opinion, for Coastal to stall out. Don't stall out. You got to take advantage of this poor App State defense and score touchdowns. And my winner in this one is Coastal. And I just said why. App State's defense. App State's defense has been lackluster this year at best. They allowed South Alabama to come in winning App State for the first time in a while. I think first time ever, to be honest. And I don't think that the defense has been playing well. I think Coastal Carolina will take advantage of App State's poor defense, put up points, and it's going to become a shootout in which Coastal wins. Next, we have FAU at East Carolina, 8 o'clock ESPN2, American Athletic Conference play. Now, Eastern Carolina comes into this as 7.5-point home favorites. Again, you catch this game 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Now, if you're FAU, you got to feed CJ Campbell. We saw what CJ Campbell Jr. did last weekend against USF. He had an amazing game. He's the leading rusher for FAU. You got to feed him the ball. You got to run Cam Fancher to keep this defense on its toes. Cam Fancher, he's a better runner than passer, in my opinion. You would rather him run the ball than pass it. He's a capable passer, but he's a way better runner. Stay ahead of the chains because I think FAU is a run-heavy offense. Contain Caden Hauser, pressure Caden Hauser, excuse me. The MSU transfer who's currently starting for ECU over Garcia. And contain the run. Raji Harris. Contain Raji Harris. Make Caden Hauser have to beat you with his arm. Now, the ECU, Caden Hauser has to protect the football. He has 8 touchdowns, 4 picks in his few starts. Force FAU to pass. Like I said, they're a run-heavy team, and Cam Fancher is a better runner than passer. Contain CJ Campbell Jr. because, I mean, look, we saw him play last week. We saw him score all the touchdowns for FAU last week. Last week, they had 3 total touchdowns. CJ Campbell got all 3. Feed Chase Sewell, the wide receiver, and run Raji Harris, the running back. Now, my winner in this, although East Carolina has changed head coaches, when they went 3 or 4, they changed head coaches. They won the game. The next game, it was against Temple. I think FAU has been competitive. I think FAU's been in ball games. They just have not won them. I think today changes. Thursday changes. I think FAU finally gets an American Conference win against East Carolina. East Carolina is a decent team, but they're not a team that I don't think that FAU can run the ball on. I think FAU can run the ball on them well. I think FAU could take the ball away, maybe once, but they take the ball away. And I think with that being said, they control the clock, time of possession, put up points, and they win on the road against East Carolina. So give me FAU to beat East Carolina. I'm taking a shot there. I know. I'm taking my shot, but I think FAU beats East Carolina. We move on to Friday night, where we got 4 games Friday night. Friday night, Cal. We start with Cal at Wake Forest, 8 o'clock on ACC Network. Cal comes into this game at 7.5-point road favorites. Cal, if you're Cal, you got to pressure Hank Bachmeier. Hank Bachmeier is the transfer quarterback for this team coming from Louisiana Tech. They put the ball in his hands a lot. You got to pressure him. I still say run Jaden Knott. Now, Jaden Knott is not having the season I thought he would have. A lot of it's due to injuries, but I believe he's there. I looked at the injury report. I didn't see him on it, so I believe he's going to be there. Run the ball to Jaden. I contain Damon Claiborne. I think they're best player on offense. Went up front because Kyle has a pretty good defense. Have to win up front to stop the run, and you got to win up front for that slow mesh that Wake Forest likes to run. And score because Cal, again, has a good defense. They're able to put up points. I think they can stifle Wake Forest offense enough to win the ball game. Now, if you Wake Forest, you got to force some turnovers, man. You got to force some turnovers, get some shorter fields against this Cal defense, which I think is pretty good. I would say like a little above average. So get some stops to get some short fields and possibly score points against Cal. Run Damon Claiborne. You got to run him. You got to. I know you still got to run him. You got to get off the field on third downs. You got to get off the field on third down. It's tough for this Wake Forest team to do, but you have to do it. Got to sustain drives. You got to sustain drives, and then you do that by running the ball well, getting in front of the chains, mixing in play action. Slow mesh will help. And the final one is you got to contain the run of Cal, because Cal's going to try to run the ball at you, went up front with the trenches, and control the ball. But I'm going to take Wake Forest. I'm going to take Cal, actually. Cal to get their first ACC win. I think Cal beats Wake Forest on the road. Like I said, Cal is winless in the ACC. But you got to look. The NC State probably should have won that. Pitt probably should have won that. Miami definitely should have won that. Florida State, I don't know what happened there. But that's Florida State's only win, period. But Cal's been in ball games. Probably should have won some games. I think this is the game they finally win in the ACC to go to 5-4 and move one game closer to becoming bowl eligible. Wake Forest, I'm not really sold on Wake Forest. I don't think Wake Forest is a bad team. I just don't think they're a good team either. I think that's a team that Cal should be able to come into Winston-Salem and get a win against. So give me Cal against Wake Forest. Next, we move to Iowa at UCLA. 9 o'clock on Fox. Iowa's coming into the game as 5.5-point favorites against UCLA. Iowa's coming into this game as a team that's been putting up 40 burgers too. So that's just food for thought, and no pun intended. Iowa, run Caleb Johnson. Obviously the heart and soul of this offense. Nothing else needs to be said. Use play action to keep UCLA on their toes. Caleb Johnson been breaking games for long runs, a lot of yards. So running the play action is going to do like what Boise State did to San Diego State. Is going to get the UCLA defense creeping up. You get them over the top with something with a play action pass. Get the QB. Now, Ethan Garbage is questionable to play from what I've seen so far in the injury report. So I don't know if he's going to play or not. Questionable seems like he is going to play. But whoever the quarterback is, you got to get to him with that Iowa front four, especially with those two edge rushers. Contain T.J. Harden, the running back. And Brendan Sullivan has to use his legs on design QB runs. Cade McNamara is out Friday, from what I saw. They announced that he will be out, so Brendan Sullivan will be starting again. UCLA, you have to win up front. You have to win in the trenches. Winning up front is key to stopping the run. Winning up front is key to protecting your quarterback. And winning up front is key to winning ball games. UCLA has to run T.J. Harden. Get the ball to – I still think you got to get the ball to Jermichael Sturdivant. Now, I saw Rico Flores Jr. is questionable as well. He might play. If he does play, you got to give him the ball as well. Contain Brendan Sullivan legs, because that's going to be key. Last week, Iowa didn't throw a touchdown at all. So running the ball for Iowa is going to be huge. And you got to contain Caleb Johnson. You got to try as you might contain Caleb Johnson. When Michigan State played Iowa, they contained Caleb Johnson, and we never looked back. We won that game pretty handily. But I don't think UCLA will be able to do that. So give me Iowa to win the ball game, and give me Iowa to win fairly easily in California in the Rose Bowl. I think Caleb Johnson has another spectacular week. Week because it's Friday. I think he has another spectacular week. UCLA is going to have trouble stopping him. UCLA is going to have trouble scoring against this Iowa defense, and I think it just gets ugly really soon. So give me Iowa to win the ball game. Next, we got some American action as well. We got Rice at Memphis. Memphis is looking for a chance, just a shot in the dark to to compete for the American Athletic title game. 2 losses in conference play, looking pretty deadly at this point when you have undefeated Tulane and undefeated Army in conference play. They take on Rice 9 o'clock on ESPN2, and Memphis is coming to this game as 9.5-point favorites. Now, Rice has had 2 big wins of late. They beaten Navy, they beaten UTSA. And now they're coming to upset Memphis on the road. Rice, you got to run Dean Connors. I think the best player on the team. He was one of their best players last year, even with Luke McCaffrey, the best player on the offense this year. Win the turnover battle. Got to force some turnovers and win turnover battle, especially because I think E.J. Warner's going to turn the ball over. Even though Memphis defense isn't good to me, E.J. Warner's just been turning the ball over this year. Pressure Seth Hannigan. Put some pressure on that boy. Contain Mario Anderson Jr., the running back transfer from South Carolina. And E.J. Warner has to protect the football. He has, like I say, he has 10 picks. Now, if you're Memphis, you got to run Mario Anderson. Run Mario Anderson Jr. Get the ball to Rock Taylor. Now, Demir Blankenship had an injury last week. I don't know if he's back. Now, he wasn't on the injury report. From the injury report I looked at. But I don't know if he's back. So if he's back, then obviously you got to get the ball to Demir Blankenship too. But if not, get the ball to Rock Taylor. Contain Dean Connors, the running back, and pressure EJ Warner because that's going to lead to him throwing you the football. And finally, I have score. Now, not only do I put that on there because Memphis defense is pretty bad, but I put that on there because I don't think Rice will. If you do that, that puts EJ Warner to throw the ball more. The more EJ Warner throws the ball this year, the more it's becoming an interception, even with Memphis defense being as bad as it is. So with that being said, I think Memphis is going to be able to put up points, and I think Memphis will win this game at home. Home crowd is going to be ruckus. Friday night, Memphis has 7 wins on the year, so you know they're coming out to support their Tigers. I think they will put up points, like I said, and I think EJ Warner will turn the ball over because of that. So give me Memphis to win this ball game. And last but certainly not least, we have New Mexico at San Diego State. Friday night, 10:30 on Fox Sports 1. San Diego State comes into this game as 3.5-point favorites. Mountain West Conference action. I said Mountain West. Yeah, Mountain West Conference action. I don't know what I was thinking about. Don't worry about me. I'll be burnt sometimes in the morning. Contain Marquise Cooper. If you're New Mexico, you got to contain the run game of Marquise Cooper, the running back. You got to run Devin Dampier, which they have done a lot this year, being their leading rusher. Quarterback. Score. Again, this is like a Memphis City. No. Scratch that. No, it's not. They need to put up points because their defense is going to give up a ton of points. So you got to put up points to combat your defense giving up a ton of points. Pressure Danny O'Neal. We saw Danny O'Neal throw interceptions last week against Boise State, but Boise State is a really good defense, but he did it under some pressure. And Devin Dampier has to protect the football. Devin Dampier also has been throwing interceptions, so you got to protect that football. Now, if you're San Diego State, take advantage of the poor defense. Take advantage of the poor defense of New Mexico. Run Marquise Cooper. That's another way you take advantage of the poor defense. Running the ball. It is fairly harder to turn the ball over on the ground than it is through the air. It's pretty much easier through the air. Use play action. Use what Boise State did against New Mexico. Contain New Mexico on the ground, which, again, you got to contain the quarterback design runs of Devin Dampier. Keep New Mexico behind the chains. They like to run the ball a lot. Keep them behind the chains. And I think as much as I love Bronco Mendenhall, as much as I like to see, as much as I've seen where he's going to take this program, give me San Diego State to win this ball game. I think San Diego State wins this ball game because they will be able to run the ball. They're going to take time with them. They're going to force New Mexico to score points, which New Mexico does really well, but they're not going to be able to run the ball and, get defenses off balance with quarterback runs and things like that. I think that they're going to make New Mexico have to beat you through the air. I think San Diego State gets some turnovers that way, some takeaways. And they're at home, late game at home, which New Mexico plays late games too. New Mexico's doing the time difference as well. But give me San Diego State to beat New Mexico. I don't think it's a blowout, though. I don't know if it's close, but I don't think it's a blowout. I would say maybe a possession or two ball game. But I like San Diego State, and that's going to be the end of CTC. That's all I got for y'all today. I can tell y'all right now, I have 7 games only to preview on Saturday. Only 7. I went through the whole slate of college football. I only felt like it was necessary to talk about 7 games. I know Navy play USF, but I don't think either one of them is in the – well, Navy still – no, I don't think either one of them is really at play for the American. I think USF is definitely out. So I didn't want to talk about that one. I could have talked about Duke, North Carolina State, but I don't think either one of them is at play for the ACC, so I didn't really want to talk about that one. So only 7 games to talk about Saturday. Again, check out all the shows we got for y'all today. We got a full lineup for y'all today. FFC, main show, maybe Dave's Doghouse, question mark beside that, and Unfaced. We got a full house for y'all today. So make sure you tune in to R2L today. Make sure it helps you might get through your work day. Enjoy work, man. Enjoy your day at work. I know it's hump day, so we got to get through it together, but we're going to get through it. And I'm going to holler at y'all. I see y'all Friday. I'm going to try to make sure I see y'all Friday night. Also want to talk about this real quick. College basketball is back. Yes, I know it's back. I saw my MSU. I didn't see the game, but I see MSU won against Monmouth. I didn't watch the game. I was watching Texas A&M, UCF, Texas A&M. a collapse at the end of the game. Scored 1 point in the last 4 minutes. The UCF was playing good defense, but Wade Taylor missed a free throw. Wade Taylor was missing 3 shots. It was just uncharacteristic of Wade Taylor. Offense was turning the ball over like crazy. UCF, man, that energy in that crowd was crazy. Them young guys coming down the floor, dishing the rock, pushing the pace. It was fun to watch for UCF. So I think UCF could be a scary team. It was fun to watch. I watched some of Ohio State, and I hate to say it because I'm a Michigan State fan, but Ohio State is looking to build something special this year. Bruce Thornton, Royal in that backfield. Not the backfield, backcourt. I'm talking about football. In that backcourt, you got Michie Johnson. You got all these guys, Jake Diebler, coach, who finished the year phenomenally for Ohio State. Great win by them against Texas. Now, Texas didn't have Tramon Mark, but still a great win. Gonzaga absolutely blew out Baylor. I leaned Gonzaga in that game anyway because Gonzaga had pieces together. They already got chemistry with Graham Ike, Nimhard, and Nolan Hickman. Baylor's a bunch of young guys. They're going to have to learn as they go. The chemistry might come later in the year. They're a bunch of young guys, so transfers, Jeremy Roach, and stuff like that. So that's why I was leaning Gonzaga in that one. I did watch some Western Kentucky, Wichita State, and Wichita State was not missing from 3 in the first half. Western Kentucky felt like they should have been winning that game, and I think they were down at halftime actually because of the 3-ball of Wichita State. So good one there. They actually did end up winning. Yeah, I did. I got a chance to watch some college basketball. I watched Washington, UC Davis last night, and Ty Johnson had a massive performance for UC Davis. Just wasn't enough against the Washington Huskies, led by great Osborne, who had a double-double last night. Really good game. Davis, he had a good game last night too. He helped close last night as well. It's a good win, a close win by Washington, but a good one nonetheless. But yeah, college basketball is in full effect, and I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for these big non-con matchups coming up. We got the Champions Classic next Saturday. Next Tuesday, excuse me. I'm going to find time to talk about that. I'm going to find time to talk about the Champions Classic. I got some Duke fans in the chat, so we'll probably come on. They play Kentucky, so we'll probably talk about that one. But that's all I wanted to let y'all know that CTC has been watching college basketball. CTC knows what's going on. Call me. I have been. So I haven't talked about it. I didn't preview anything because I like to watch first. I don't like with college football. It's a bunch of teams, but it's 12 games. College basketball is 30. I'm not doing previews for every single Power 5, Power 4. Well, Power 5 in basketball because of Big East. I'm not doing it. It's 33 teams. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. It just is what it is. But I'm watching. Just know that. But again, that's all I got for y'all today. I will see y'all Friday night. I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.